Are you building your website with Elementor Pro and still using another plugin to manage your pop-ups? Well, let's change that. I'm going to walk through how I'm building my own pop-up all through Elementor Pro so that when users try to leave the site on exit intent, that they will have a pop-up show up that asks them to follow me on all of my social media so we can stay connected. Let's get started. I want to go to pop-ups, so I'll go in the back end here, and this will bring me to the back end of WordPress. We'll go in templates and go to pop-ups. So let's add a new one. Minimal pop-up social icons. And let's create that pop-up. These are the pop-ups that Elementor has already made for us. If you'd like to sort by category too, you can go right up here to the left. You can see all the ones with a bottom bar, all of the fly-in ones, all of the slide-in ones. And then as you go through this, if we just want to go back, click that X so we can see all of them. You can go through and say, I really like this one, and I can just click this heart and it'll appear in my favorites. I've clearly already gone through some of these pop-ups before, so I already have a couple favorites, which is not this one. I just want a really minimal pop-up because you guys already know how to use Elementor, and if you don't, I have a tutorial on how to use it. But this is really going to be how to style the pop-ups to appear to the user you want in the situation where you want that user to see it. So most of what we're going over isn't how to style a pop-up, although we'll get that in the process a little bit. I'm going to pick this pop-up because it's really basic. So we can see it appeared right here. If I leave it just like this and hit publish, it'll appear like this on my website. This doesn't really match my branding very well. So first thing I'm going to do is go over here, click on this, and I see that these are actually share buttons. They're not social buttons. They're not follow me on social. So we'll just add some social icons right here, and we can go through that, but I already have social icons saved. So I'm just gonna add in right here. I'm just gonna unlink this from global so that they can be a little bit different from what I have on the rest of the site. I really want them to pop a little bit. Let me just make these the official color, and then we'll add a row gap of 10, and we'll reduce the size to 24. Now we can get rid of this one, and with this one, let's just add in a YouTube link as well. And then always remember to save this as a draft. Now there are a couple more things I want to do. So most of the pop-up settings are housed within this settings box. All of this is good. We want the positioning to be on the right side. We'll have it in the center of the screen as opposed to the top or bottom. And we don't need a close button either because people are really seeing this as they leave the site, and even if they don't leave, it's a pretty small footprint. Now you can see just a little bit, that changes that border radius. It just fits the brand a little bit more. Just in case we do make a pop-up later, I don't want there to be two pop-ups at the same time, so we'll just avoid multiple pop-ups. Now we get into the fun part. I'm gonna publish this so it's live on my site, and then it's gonna say, what do you want to do with your template? Well, let's set these conditions. So our first condition will be that it's gonna be on the entire site. I want that, but just to go over, we can add it just on certain authors or child pages. We can also do it on pretty much any page you want it to. So we can do on all posts, only a category of posts, just the 404 page, or you can go to pages and just type in the page that you want it to appear on. But as I just mentioned, I want it to be on the entire site. You can also exclude pages if you want it on the entire site except one page. So I'll go to next, and here are our triggers. So this will make it so it'll appear right when the page loads. I don't want that. I want it to be on exit intent. So we'll unclick that. We can have it on scroll, so once users start scrolling 50% of the page, then it'll pop up. We can add a selector on an element, so when we scroll to that selector, it'll pop up. We can say how many clicks does a user need to click on a certain page before this pop-up comes up. Maybe someone walks away from their computer or they're just staring at it for a while. We can have it come up after an activity, or the one we want, right when people try to leave the screen. So this is when people try to go up to this top bar. That's the only one I want on, so let's go to the advanced rules. We can have it only show after a certain number of pages to make sure that users are really bought in. We can only show after a certain number of sessions. So a session would be, I come to the website, I peruse, and then I leave. That's one session, and then I come back, and then that would be my second session. So it would only show after that second session. We can only show it up to a certain number of times. I'll only show this 2 times. We can only show when it's coming from a certain URL. So if you're coming from my YouTube channel, maybe I don't want you to see this pop up, so I can hide it just for that as well. Or I can show another pop-up just for you guys. This is a little bit broader, but if you come from a search engine, then you'll see it. If you come from an external link, then you'll see it. So we can really set it to do anything we'd like here. We can say so logged in users can't see it. In my case, you can't log into my site, so it would really just hide it for me. But for a site that is a membership site, this is much more practical. And then we don't want to show it on tablet or mobile. So we'll only have it on desktop here. Then we'll hit save and close. And then let me refresh this page. I'm clicking around, and then I go to leave, and we can see it appears right here. And then we can click off and it'll disappear. As I mentioned before, you can only do this with Elementor Pro. Elementor Pro is $200 per year for 1,000 sites, basically unlimited. For most web designers, that comes out to about 1 to 5 hours of work. Any client I have ever tried to teach Elementor has been able to understand it within a 1-hour training, and they can make those simple edits by themselves. And I've even had clients that worked with me just because I used Elementor. They told me that after we started working together and had a good relationship, but only because I was using such a user-friendly platform, they decided that it was worth it to work with me rather than someone else that was going to build the whole thing custom. And after 5 years of working in web design and trying out a ton of different site builders, Elementor has always come up on top. The third-party widgets and the community is just so much better than any other site builder I have ever tried. Now, if you'd like to try Elementor, you can go right here on my website to my recommended tools section, scroll down, and Elementor is right here. If you click download Elementor, you will immediately download the free version of Elementor, and you can try it on any site you'd like. Just explore and see the magic. Once you have really experienced it and you think that it's worth it for you to buy the pro version, just come back here, click Explore Elementor, and that will open the homepage of Elementor. I am an affiliate for Elementor, and I get a small commission at no cost to you if you decide to click on my link and then buy Elementor. I don't endorse anything that I don't use myself. I use this at my full-time job and my freelancing because I haven't found anything better. Again, thank you for watching this video. There are great links in the description for any web designer, and check out these tools. These are all the tools that I use and I recommend, and there are a lot of options for growing your web design business. Thanks for watching.